potato. Shiva stood by the riverbank, his eyes reflecting the depth of his thoughts as he looked across the vast waters. Saraswati had been staying at her father's place for some time, away from their home and their life together. The distance between them had grown, not just physically, but emotionally, and Shiva, burdened by the weight of his responsibilities and the recent loss of his job, was caught in a web of conflict. A conflict of interest between duty and love, between the chaos he was trying to prevent and the relationship he cherished. He closed his eyes, feeling the pulse of the universe in his veins. He was a bit agitated from the recent conflict between him and Saraswati, and began to speak, as if addressing the wind that might carry his words to Saraswati.
Saraswati had said,
"Sometimes you treat me like a potato in a marketplace, never satisfied with my form." Shiva.
If you haven't returned the faith, you may be a potato. There is no compromise in the existence of the I. If you have purposefully shown disrespect and distrust in the truth, you are a potato for a chips factory. If someone manipulated a relationship that could have grown for their own benefit and selfishness, they are potatoes too. You do not know where it is balanced. It is within the I. It has no ahankar, but it has swabhiman, not to be forced into a space that does not fit him or her. Even then, a thinker is worried about the people he left behind because they did not cooperate with the truth, instead fueling their status. In every situation, I know my status. I am the universe. I do not need to be reassured about my status. I hope you can find a solution with every resource you have at hand. I've understood that very few grasp why critique is important, why we cannot just leave the I behind to suffer endlessly for the sake of the we. When you forgo the I to be one with the we, you are a wannabe, not who you really are. You are not generating a solution, but an anomaly for the time being, to feel accepted and loved, sometimes sacrificing your best friend whom you take for granted. Now is crucial, not to surrender the I inside us because we don't know how we might lose control or what effects we shall face after that. Even an ant has a role to play in our mutual existence. If we cannot transform now, then when will it ever be possible? After everyone loses their purpose and the will to carry themselves forward. My role is not just to generate income, but also to make decisions. And I know every decision makes a huge difference to existence. Whether you avoid the truth casually or not, trying to understand doesn't change its potential to re-establish balance. It's time to find balance in every soul and every quarter. You cannot force existence in a certain direction. Every soul matters, but who can fit where cannot be forced into complete surrender or manipulation by law and authority. I am in truth. Why shall I grab a potato with many eyes? I decided never to disrespect a cat. But remember that the present trend on encroaching on privacy at work is like having many eyes, and someday the Brahman will leave the earth for another planet, and the earth may turn into a potato with many eyes. If we don't want that, we must make amends in trust and understanding. Everyone is wanting to protect their individuality and personal space. In my terms, I call it the Brahmastan, or the sacred place within where the soul can wander freely. It may be the imagination, speech, or the house, as long as it's not turned into an action to directly affect others. It's open for consideration. That may be the space that provides all the solution to our problems. Thus, I hold it sacred and protect it with all my abilities. If I let them be, I do it from respect for their freedom of choice. But a Brahman is a decision maker for his own conscious being and survival. It cannot be influenced by an uncooperative cat, as it may lead to catastrophe or cataclysm of what we have built already. There are protocols, some absurd and some overly complicated, but they have been made keeping individuals in mind and their rights through centuries of tweaking. They work in their own domain, so we just don't mess around too much. But it is good to remember there is more to reality and existence than just our protocols, as everything is interconnected in a web of intricate complexity. Until I am in nature with someone extraordinarily in tune, a catfight occurs from time to time. What is important is preserving our choices, not our false pride or ambitions.
Shiva paused, his voice carrying the weight of unspoken truths and a longing for harmony. He knew that Saraswati's absence was more than just a physical distance. It was a rift born of misunderstandings, unspoken fears, and the struggles of navigating a world that often seemed too complicated to decipher. But in his heart, Shiva hoped that she would find her way back, not just to him, but to the truth of who she was, beyond the ambitions and the expectations.
And as the moon rose, casting its gentle light on the water, Shiva stood there, an eternal guardian of the universe, waiting for the balance to be restored. He remembered that he once said he preferred a true ray of hope more than a blurry reflection of Maya broken down by the distortions of time. The moon showing up on the ripples did provide him with peace and hope, and he took a deep breath before returning to silent meditation.
Thank you for being with us. Like and subscribe, and please hit the bell icon to get instant notification of contents added.